all that.
Many happy returns. And it's nice to have you on the line this morning. First, let me start right. The minority says that Chief Justice is visited you yesterday.
Sorry?
That you had a visitor, the Chief Justice, yesterday.
Yes, but what's wrong with that?
No, I just wanted to confirm.
Yes. The
Okay.
CJ and the team of Supreme Court judges, as well as the director of the law school and the Judicial Secretary, made a courtesy call of the Speaker of Parliament, which is very normal. So, what is wrong with that, Sana?
Well, the minority says that.
In any case, you see, when the Speaker, as part of his normal administrative functions, receives dignitaries, both foreign and domestic, leadership in Parliament are by protocol to join him to welcome and receive the dignitaries as part of the courtesy call. So, leaders, we were all invited yesterday to join the Speaker to do that. So, if they fail to join us to do this, that's their problem.
In fact, he said that he was not going to be part of it because he was being they were attacked when they raised questions about the nomination of the Chief Justice.
But are we vetting the Chief Justice now? The man has been vetted. He's in office. He's performing the functions of office of the Chief Justice. And Afenyo Markin is still crying over exposed milk. What sort of thinking is that? In any case, yesterday at the meeting, you have to be there to listen to the transformative policies the CJ spoke about yesterday in respect of the things he wants to do for the judiciary. For instance, the CJ is proposing that as part of the general public outcry about delay of cases in the courts, he wants to introduce a morning session and an afternoon session to our courts so that the judges will begin to sit from 8 a.m., which some of them do ordinarily, and after 1 p.m. or 1:30 p.m., then another judge to 6 p.m. This is very transformative. So you're going to have two judges manning the same court, but they will hear more cases. And we are going to have more utility and more optimum use of our judges. And in a day, the same court can dispose of more cases than it ordinarily will be. Again, he wants to establish special courts to deal with environmental matters. Others are already calling it Galamsey courts, but that's it. So that those courts will be specially created for dealing with environmental degradation issues. And then it's also going to set up special courts to deal with other matters, especially in the regions. So these are the issues. For instance, we informed the Speaker that as we speak, over 40 Court of Appeal judges and High Court judges do not have offices to operate from. So there's an urgent need for the provision of offices for these judges. Some work is being done, but the engagement, he was urging the Speaker, being the approval of the an allocator of the public funds, so that something can be done to enable those judges have offices to operate from. You think the Chief Justice should sit in his office and say that I'm the Chief Justice? You don't speak about these matters confronting and adversely affecting the speedy delivery of justice in this country. He shouldn't discuss with the Speaker of Parliament. And Afenyo Markin has a problem with that.
Yes, he calls it a thank you tour.
You see, the Chief Justice is not on a thank you tour. Every leader has his style. And the fact that it's engaging state institutions, and I'm told that is also to have some discussions with the Minister of Finance, which is very important because you see, the judiciary cannot be asking for more resources only when the budget is being held. If you're able to engage the Minister of Finance early on, as he started in the year, then when the budget cycle starts, as in preparation, the Minister of Finance will know exactly how to cater for the needs of the judiciary. And this is a very good approach to governance. Afenyo is just blowing hot air.
But he says they have concerns. They prefer if the CJ met them behind closed doors for them to raise those concerns than rather perhaps the platform that was offered yesterday.
I can assure you that if the CJ has requested for an in-camera meeting, if they say people who come out and say that CJ doesn't want this to be heard, that is why he's requiring for an in-camera meeting with the leadership of Parliament. The same people complain.
Well, one other thing he accuses of, he says you are running away from your own shadows. You've lost your principles on the matter of the LGBTQ. That when they attempted to push through a private member's bill, you shot it down on the technicality, among others. After using it to win the elections, you no longer want to pursue it. Why are you running away from the LGBTQ bill?
That is a big lie. It's a big fallacy. The issue I raised was whether or not the existing act that we passed, you understand, the law that we passed when Afenyo Markin was the majority leader, that one he doesn't want to speak about it. The law that Parliament has already expended money, time, and its resources to pass. Afenyo told his president not to sign. Now he's left office, and he says that we should introduce another bill so that we'll take it through the same expensive process. So I raised the issue whether or not the bill that we had passed is not good enough to receive a presidential asset. So Speaker promised to come and rule on the matter. And he came back and said that in his wisdom, he thinks that that bill, even though duly passed by Parliament, once it was not assented to by the president before he left office, it cannot be resurrected in the 9th Parliament. That was a product of the 8th Parliament. And once it could not be consummated with the assent by the then president, a new one will have to be presented. This was what Speaker said. And that is why the new bill is being admitted and referred to the committee for the committee to consider and bring a report. Is Afenyo Markin saying that he's not aware that the bill has been referred to the committee is considering it and will bring a report? Is that what he's saying?
The bill is above a committee.
It's not even abreast with the work of Parliament in respect of some of these matters.
Well, you are saying that there's a bill that is currently before in the process.
Yes, there's a bill.
But he sounds like you're not interested at all.
What is the? I just told you the history. I raised a matter. A speaker had to go back and come and return with a ruling. Those things take a bit of time. When we introduced our bill in 2022, does it know when it was passed? It was passed in 2024. And in any case, a private member's bill. And the president has made a clear statement that if we pass that law, he will sign it today. So, like I said, Afenyo is clutching at straws. He has nothing to say. Just blowing hot air. No substance.
There's one other thing he's talked about. Sometimes there are bills of urgent nature that are sent to Parliament and they go through the processes faster. He seems to be suggesting that they will not tolerate any bill of such nature this year.
Now, let me expose it because I've done my work and I do my work well. Between 2017, January 2017, and December 2024, when the NPP spent 8 years And he, Afenyo, succeeded the Honorable Afenyo Markin as the majority leader and leader of government business. The NPP passed as many as 56 laws
Five
and the
six.
certificate of agency.
5-6.
56. I can give you the data.
That's a lot.
56. In the 7th Parliament, between January 2017 and December 2020, they passed as many as 30. 30. Between January 2021 and December 2024, they passed 26. He should tell us how many the NDC passed in 2025 so that we can do the comparisons and place the discussions in context. When he was he couldn't tell us how many. But because he has nothing to speak about, he thinks that he must throw this one in. And he was so confused. He was confused in respect of the fact that he said the Lithium agreement was also presented under certificate of agency and passed and later withdrawn. But like I corrected him yesterday, the Lithium agreement is not a bill. So it was never introduced under a certificate of agency. The Lithium agreement, in consonance with our constitutional stipulations, is an agreement that ought to be ratified by Parliament. So it was only brought to us for ratification after it was executed by the government as well as the investor in that mining area. So really, he couldn't tell exactly what he was saying, and generally misled the public on some of these matters. In any case, if an agreement is brought to Parliament for ratification and some stakeholders raise some concerns, and the government listened to these stakeholders and had the agreement withdrawn, so that the concerns of these stakeholders could be factored into the terms of the agreement, which have been duly done and re-executed and resubmitted to Parliament for ratification. Is that not how governance is supposed to be? Shouldn't the opposition rather be clapping for the government, the president, for this approach? In some other governments, just about a year or two ago, they would have done that. Which Afenyo was the majority leader.
I see. And then I don't know if you like to comment on the matters of the economy, because they seem to have a lot to say on the issue of the gold board and the losses being made and what is contributing to the gains we are seeing in the economy.
You see, this gold board debate, they've been schooled, they've been educated, they've been told what exactly it is. They have decided to hang on to the phrase loss and not accept that it is part of the transactional fees. A transaction that has generated in excess of $10 billion. So when people are so obstinate in terms of appreciation of facts, you abandon them in their state of obstinacy in these matters. Now let's speak to the matters of the economy. Today, there are jubilations all over this country that we are buying petrol below 10 cities. Petrol, we are buying it below 10 cities. When Afenyo Markin was majority leader, and leader of government business in Parliament, we were buying petrol 17 cities per liter. And some of the fuel, like those special ones, they were selling or they were sold at 24 cities per liter. But I'll speak to what the ordinary total man buys. Now, let's talk about the cost of commodities. Today, ordinary food stock prices have reduced. People are jubilating over the drop in prices of foodstuffs like rice and all that. Now, cement prices have come down. Lending rates have been slashed. to below 20%. The rate of inflation is 5.4 in this country. It used to be 54% under Afenyo and his government.
He says,
So,
okay.
so Afenyo Markin should keep quiet. He should keep quiet. He should look for meaningful things for us to talk about. People are not listening to him. And it's a tragedy that he hasn't discovered that.
He said, much as these things are happening, your government cannot take credit for it. He said it's because of, anyway, he talks about reduced expenditure. He also talks about the IMF program, commodity prices rising, the debt relief, I guess, because of the
Tell us,
DEP.
some of you, you've been doing this work for nearly half of your lifetime. Ask Afenyo Markin to tell us the prices of commodities that have shot up. He should tell us. She just list one.
And he's talking about the gold price, that the gold price is at an all-time high. That's helping you mostly.
But is that also part of his criticism that gold prices have gone up, so he's worried?
He says that because of that, you cannot take credit
for
for what is happening. That it is because gold prices are high that you're seeing some of the things you're seeing, because you have an IMF program. That is one of the reasons. Because you are not spending is one of the reasons.
Who brought the IMF program? Who brought it? Was he not here as majority leader and was part of the delegation that went to Washington to sign the IMF compact deal? Was Afenyo Markin not in Washington as part of the government delegation that signed the IMF deal?
Let me conclude on the criticism of your foreign affairs minister. I'm sure you've heard it over and over again about his approach. What do you think?
Okujeto is arguably the best foreign minister we've had since the days of Dr. Vedatamwa and Hannah. I tell you.
What's your basis?
Fantastic policies. Supervision of the consular offices globally, making reforms, a quick reaction to complaints by citizens that are accessing services of consulates and high commissions abroad, disciplining staff who have exhibited some unethical conduct towards citizens and other foreigners who want to visit this country, and general transformative policies that is introduced. And his approach to global matters when they affect other countries and especially Ghana is very proactive. We have hardly seen foreign ministers being this proactive.
Well, thank you very much for speaking to us.
It's my pleasure, Senna. And Senna, tell our people to listen to the Honorable Kwame Agboja this morning. Okay. That is the roadmaster.
Well, thank you. Thank you. There's Honorable Roxon Nelson Echida Famekpo, who is Member of Parliament for South Dying. And on the magnanimity of the people of South Dying, he's been given the position of the very big position of Majority Chief Whip. Well, taking us to 41 minutes past 8, of course, we are still expecting Dr. Peter Bomo Tukuno to join us, and then we would start our conversation, talk about Greek sector, talk about other issues in relation to the economy, among others. But in the meantime, the Ghana Revenue Authority reminds all persons registered for VAT, NHIL, Get Fund Levy, that VAT, NHIL, Get Fund Levy, and Communication Service Tax, that's the CST returns for December 2025, should be submitted on the VAT, NHIL, Get Fund Levy, and CST returns forms not later than Friday, 30th January 2026, which is the last working day of the month. File your VAT, NHIL, Get Fund Levy, and CST returns early and avoid payment of penalties. For VAT, NHIL, Get Fund Levy, the penalty is 500 Ghana cedis and a further penalty of 10 Ghana cedis for each day the return is not submitted. For CST operators, late filing of returns attracts a pecuniary penalty of 2,000 Ghana cedis and a further penalty of 500 Ghana cedis for each day the return is not submitted. Remember to submit the December 2025 returns not later than Friday 30th January 2026, which is the last working day of the month, and avoid paying penalties. Kindly get in contact with us by email on info@gra.gov.gh, info@gra.gov.gh, or by WhatsApp on 055 299 0000 or 0200 63 1664. Those are the numbers to send a WhatsApp message to. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll continue with the Gold Morning conversation. Stay tuned.
Abusia, wani swadi hu se ubesi dan awafi mu ana. Enye na me kanfo Heart Builders Real Estate ede amawo. Heart Builders Real Estate eye dwumako a wono mo atontong ensase. Won ensase ni bi ewo Shy Hills, Tripoli, and afi Ningo Pram Pram. And nije sema wo ho ne se won ensase a ewo Tripoli ani Ningo Pram Pram no yatete so ede aba
30,000 Ghana cedis and 25,000 Ghana cedis.
Oh, umpewe na upedie
for 25,000 Ghana cedis.
Pe Fabra, ni entwe ensase a eda Shy Hills ni bi. Enfama Heart Builders Real Estate. Wono mo san so tontong adansie any plumbing materials BAB. Wono mo ye architectural drawing, biofuel digester, borehole drilling, roofing. Hwehwe Heart Builders Real Estate. Echa kwan ewo Ashaman, woni Mandela Park no ene dinhwe ani mu. Fre Heart Builders ewo homenso 0591 599 006 ana
0241 665 200.
Heart Builders Real Estate, the future planners.
Sabreya yani 2025 ewie. Na ye bie yensem edi ehia 2026. High sense pese fa America kreiso. Na ye dagana fo nyina ase. Ye nimpa se gidi a wanya we mu na oni edigwa no. Eno na aboa high sense ye do some pempenso yi. Se wo hu de enko ya boy amane. Onu kredie. Eni se mo boy ye chidom. Ahye ye nkran ama ye hihye niema kama e de brem. Technology de bro afi no. Utiribe bom. Ye customer service no so. Ya hye mo kutupan. Ye ye achen kane no. Afi ye mo hu se about the quality home appliances and electronics are high sense chino boko be obianiwo 2026 no nyina afi aye de be ye niema nwanwaso e wo high sense everyday prices for everyday people.
I've been so cool. Well, Mabel Restaurant and 2 a.m. sounds. Now, first in Mabel's Park. When Nungwala Tade Saint or Nautical Quantum Panaso. And Tijumedi beer with your Ben here gun and in Nigeria for new and be at his jollof rice, plain rice, bankuni tilapia, mabrami pizza, eba any agushi in Kuobi, okra soup, bitter leaf stew, and a fufro bebre. So we a year oji our dear Otu Bedin, and now Posa Woody Jumediana who here in Riane Papano. For my dinner for any Mabel Restaurant and in Mabel's Park. Yeah, free delivery. To show much kwai ewa Nungwa C5 Junction and in Nungwa Latter-day Saint. Fre Omo ewa 0244 052012 and I say 0270 258028. Mabel's Restaurant and Mabel's Pub in Riani Penina Himfi.
Yeah, mama bro.
Wanya?
Your friend mama na me dey sign. Sound dey o se wunye hu edro. Enemre mu a PC Herbal Center. Ede mfidie ehwehwe nipadua mu. Na odi ahahanra FDA agye mu esa yare esiesie wi. Kwan ena o se ne mpaso agro enso ani. Munyina monko PC Herbal Center. Na ma menzima besiesie o. Wusisi ya hye okatita. Eni yare be na tete wo. Ko PC Herbal sesia. Bema ana oba onwo. Ana wodie upe nimnyam ana etunyam nyina bra na PC Herbal behihye wo nipadua no ama ne sisi so kama ne bo so de se fofofo.
Hey, sir.
She PC Herbal Center Ichakwan ewo Madina Social Welfare Sakraden so on the Air Force Station Basic School no and a din hwenimu 0540 740 740 0542 995 997 Oba Bema Bra PC Herbal Center na yen shell.
At the macroeconomic level, the bank's foremost priority was anchoring inflation expectations and restoring stability. Through disciplined monetary tightening, effective liquidity management, and clear policy communication, inflation declined steadily from 23.8% in December 2024 down